Imagine for a moment that you are holding 5 precious gems in your hand. These gems represent 5 aspects of your life that are so valuable, so crucial to your success and well-being, that you should guard them with all your might. You see, in this world of constant sharing and oversharing, we have forgotten the power of keeping certain things close to our chest. We have forgotten that some treasures are best kept hidden, not because we're dishonest, but because we're smart. Because we understand that success often hinges on discretion. So what are these 5 things you should never share with anyone? Lean in close, because I'm about to share with you some of the most powerful secrets of success I have learned in my decades on this earth. Number 1, your dreams and goals. Now, you might be thinking, but shouldn't I share my dreams? Isn't that what all those motivational posters tell me to do? Well, let me tell you something. Those posters are wrong, dead wrong. Your dreams and goals are the fuel that drives you forward. They're the fire in your belly that gets you out of bed in the morning when everyone else is hitting the snooze button. They're also fragile. Oh, so fragile. You see, when you share your dreams with others, you are exposing them to the harsh winds of reality. You are letting other people's doubts, fears, and negativity seep into your vision. And before you know it, that crystal clear picture of success in your mind starts to get a little fuzzy around the edges. But it's not just about protecting your dreams from negativity. It's about protecting your motivation. When you share your goals, you get a little hit of satisfaction. Your brain thinks, oh, I have told someone about my goal. That means I'm making progress. But you are not. You are just talking. And talking doesn't build empires, my friends. Let me give you an example. Imagine you have a dream of starting your own business. It's a revolutionary idea, something that could change the game in your industry. Now, picture yourself at a family dinner, excitedly sharing your plans. Your Uncle Bob, who's never taken a risk in his life, starts listing all the reasons it won't work. Your cousin Sarah, who's always been a bit jealous, subtly undermines your confidence. And suddenly that bright, shiny dream of yours starts to look a little tarnished. But what if, instead of sharing, you had kept that dream to yourself? What if you had spent that energy researching your market, developing your product, creating your business plan? By the time your family found out about your business, you would already be well on your way to success. And their doubts, they'd be drowned out by the sound of your victory. So keep those dreams close to your chest. Nurture them in the quiet moments of the morning, in the stillness of the night. Let them grow strong and sturdy before you expose them to the world. Because once they're strong enough, once you have taken enough action, you won't need to tell anyone about your dreams. They will see them manifested in your success. Remember, the greatest achievements in history didn't start with a public announcement. They started with a quiet determination, a secret fire burning in the heart of someone who dared to dream big and work hard in silence. Number 2, your finances. Now, this is a big one. In today's world, it seems like everyone's flashing their bank balance on social media, posting pictures of their new car, their fancy vacations, their designer clothes. But let me tell you something, real wealth is silent. When you start sharing your financial situation with others, you are opening up a can of worms. If you are doing well, you might attract the wrong kind of attention. Suddenly, everyone's got a great investment opportunity for you. Or worse, they start treating you differently, expecting handouts or special treatment. And if you are struggling, well, that's nobody's business but your own. Sharing your financial troubles doesn't magically make money appear in your bank account. All it does is make you vulnerable. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you have just landed a big promotion at work. It comes with a significant pay raise, and you are excited. So excited that you decide to share the news with your friends over dinner. You tell them about your new salary, thinking they will be happy for you. But what happens instead? One friend starts hinting about that loan you never paid back. Another suddenly remembers a business idea they've been meaning to pitch to you. And a third, they just sit there, a forced smile on their face, as envy starts to eat away at your friendship. Now imagine a different scenario. You get that same promotion, that same pay raise, but instead of telling everyone, you keep it to yourself. You use that extra money to pay off debts, to invest in your future, to create a safety net for yourself and your family. Your lifestyle doesn't change dramatically, but your peace of mind, it skyrockets. And your relationships, they stay exactly as they were, untainted by financial comparisons or expectations. But there's another reason to keep your finances private, and it's all about mindset. When you're constantly talking about money, whether you have it or you don't, you are putting too much focus on the wrong thing. You are making money the goal instead the tool it really is. Remember, money is just a means to an end. It's not the measure of your worth as a human being. It's not the key to happiness. It's simply a tool that, when used wisely, can help you achieve your goals and live the life you want. Think about the most successful people you know. I'm not talking about the flashy ones on TV, but the truly successful ones. The ones who have built something lasting, who have made a real difference in the world. Do you know how much money they have in their bank account? Do you know what their salary is? Chances are you don't. Because truly successful people understand that their financial situation is their business and no one else's. So, keep your financial situation to yourself. Work on it in private. Celebrate your wins silently. And if you are struggling, seek help from professionals, not from your social circle. Because at the end of the day, your bank balance is between you and your bank. Nobody else needs to know. Number 3, your personal struggles. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't it good to open up? To be vulnerable? And yes, to a certain extent, it is. But there's a fine line between being open and oversharing, and let me tell you, that line is where success is built. Everyone's got struggles. Everyone's fighting battles that others know nothing about. But the most successful people, they fight those battles in private. They don't air their dirty laundry for the world to see. Why? Because your personal struggles are just that, personal. They're the challenges that are shaping you, molding you into the person you are meant to become. But when you share them with the world, you are inviting opinions, judgments, and advice that you didn't ask for and probably don't need. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are going through a tough time at work. Maybe your project isn't going as planned, or you are having conflicts with a colleague. Now, picture yourself venting about this on social media or to anyone who will listen. What happens? Suddenly everyone's got an opinion. Your Aunt Mary tells you to quit your job. Your college buddy suggests you confront your boss. Your neighbor thinks you should just toughen up. And in the midst of all this noise, you lose sight of your own inner voice, your own wisdom. But what if, instead, you had kept these struggles to yourself? What if you had used them as fuel to work harder, to find innovative solutions, to grow as a professional? By the time anyone noticed you were having difficulties, you would have already overcome them and emerged stronger. When you are constantly talking about your problems, you are giving them power. You are making them the center of your universe. And let me tell you something, my friends, what you focus on expands. If you are always talking about how hard things are, guess what? Things are going to keep being hard. But if you face your struggles head on in private with determination and grit, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start to overcome. A time when you were facing a significant challenge. Maybe it was a health issue, a relationship problem, or a setback in your career. Now, think about the people who knew about it. Were their reactions always helpful? Did their advice always apply to your unique situation? Chances are, the answers to these questions are no. Now, I'm not saying you should never seek help. If you are dealing with serious issues, by all means, Talk to a professional. But for the everyday struggles, the challenges that are part of the journey to success, keep those to yourself. Use them as fuel for your fire, not as topics for casual conversation. Remember, the world doesn't need to know about every obstacle you face. What the world needs is to see you overcoming those obstacles, rising above, achieving greatness. And that, my friends, is something that happens in silence, in the quiet moments of perseverance that nobody else sees. Number 4, your next big move. In the game of life, and especially in the world of business, the element of surprise is your secret weapon. Your next big move, whether it's a career change, a new business venture, or a bold personal decision, should be kept under wraps until the moment is right. When you share your plans prematurely, you are essentially showing your hand before the game even begins. You are giving your competition a chance to react, to prepare, to potentially undermine your efforts before you have even started. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young entrepreneur who had a brilliant idea for a new product. He was so excited about it that he couldn't help but share it with everyone he met. He talked about it at networking events. He posted about it on social media. He even discussed it in detail with his supplier. And you know what happened? By the time he was ready to launch, 3 other companies had already beaten him to market with similar products. His brilliant idea was no longer unique, and his business struggled as a result. Now imagine if he had kept his idea to himself, if he had worked on it in secret, perfecting his product, securing his supply chain, preparing his marketing strategy. When he finally launched, it would have taken the market by storm. His competitors would have been caught off guard, scrambling to catch up. That's the power of keeping your next big move to yourself. But it's not just about strategy, it's about energy. When you are planning something big, something that could change the course of your life, you need all the positive energy you can get. You need to be laser focused, completely committed. But what happens when you start sharing your plans? Suddenly, you're spending your energy explaining your vision to others, defending it against doubts and criticisms. You are wasting precious time and mental resources on talk when you should be focusing on action. When you are baking a cake, do you open the oven every 5 minutes to check on it? Of course not. You know that every time you open that oven door, you are letting heat escape, interfering with the baking process. Your plans, your next big move, they're like that cake. They need time to bake without interference. They need to be nurtured in the warm, quiet space of your mind and your hard work before they're ready to be served to the world. And let's not forget about the power of momentum. When you keep your plans to yourself, when you work in silence, you are building up a tremendous force. It's like a dam holding back a river. And when the time is right, when everything is in place, you release that force all at once. The impact is incredible. But if you let that energy trickle out bit by bit, sharing your plans with this person and that person, you are losing the power of that momentum. You are turning what could have been a tidal wave into a gentle stream. Remember, the greatest chess players don't announce their strategy before the game. They keep their opponents guessing. They stay 3 steps ahead. And when they finally make their move, it's decisive. It's powerful. It's game-changing. So, keep your next big move close to your chest. Let it simmer, let it grow, let it build up energy. Work on it diligently, refine it, perfect it. And when the time is right, when you are ready to take that leap, that's when you reveal your hand. That's when you show the world what you are truly capable of. Because in the end, it's not about who talks the biggest game. It's about who plays the smartest game. And the smartest players, they know the value of keeping their cards close to their number 5. Your inner circle. Now, this last one might surprise you. But let me tell you, it's perhaps the most important of all. Your inner circle, those handful of people who truly support you, who believe in you, who push you to be better. That's something you should guard fiercely. In this age of social media, where everyone's competing for followers and likes, we have lost sight of the value of real, deep connections. We have forgotten that it's not about how many people know your name. It's about how many people truly know your heart. Your inner circle is your fortress. It's where you can be yourself, where you can share your fears and doubts without judgment. It's where you find the strength to keep going when the world seems to be against you. Not everyone deserves a place in that inner circle. Not everyone has earned the right to know the real you, to be privy to your deepest thoughts and feelings. Let me share a personal story with you. Early in my career, I had what I thought was a large circle of friends and associates. I shared everything with them, my hopes, my fears, my plans for the future. I thought I was being open, building strong relationships. But you know what happened? When I hit a rough patch, when things weren't going as planned, most of those so-called friends disappeared. And worse, some of them used what they knew about me to their advantage to get ahead while I was struggling. It was a hard lesson, but an important one. I learned that true friendship, true support is rare and precious, and it needs to be protected. When you start sharing details about your inner circle, when you start letting just anyone into that sacred space, you are diluting its power. You are compromising the safety and trust that make it so valuable. In nature, the most precious resources are often the rarest. Gold, diamonds, platinum. They're valuable because they're scarce. Your inner circle should be the same way. It should be exclusive, carefully curated, fiercely protected. Now, I'm not saying you should be cold or unfriendly to people outside your inner circle. By all means, be kind, be professional, be a positive presence in the world. But remember that there's a difference between being friendly and letting everyone into your inner sanctum. Your inner circle should be like a board of directors for your life. These are the people who have proven their loyalty, who have earned your trust, who genuinely want to see you succeed. They're the ones who will tell you the hard truths when you need to hear them, who will support you when you are down, who will celebrate your victories as if they were their own. This inner circle isn't for show. It's not something you parade around or brag about. It's a quiet strength, a secret weapon in your journey to success. So keep the details of your inner circle to yourself. Don't brag about your connections. Don't name drop. Don't exploit the trust of those closest to you for social gain. Instead, nurture those relationships in private. Invest in them, grow them, cherish them. Because at the end of the day, when the applause has faded and the spotlight has dimmed, it's your inner circle that will still be there, supporting you, believing in you, pushing you to greater heights. Your dreams and goals, your finances, your personal struggles, your next big move, and your inner circle. These are the crown jewels of your life, the things that, when protected and nurtured, have the power to propel you to unimaginable success. By keeping these things private, by guarding them closely, you are actually opening yourself up to greater possibilities. You are creating space for growth, for change, for transformation. When you are not constantly seeking validation from others, when you are not wasting energy on unnecessary explanations or defenses, you have more resources to invest in yourself. You have more time to work on your craft, to hone your skills, to pursue excellence. Excellence is not a destination, it's a journey. It's a constant process of becoming better today than you were yesterday. And that process, it happens in the quiet moments, in the private victories, in the silent battles that nobody else sees. Think about a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. Does it announce to the world that it's about to undergo this incredible change? Does it live stream its metamorphosis on social media? Of course not. It retreats into its cocoon, away from prying eyes, and emerges only when the transformation is complete. You are like that caterpillar. Your dreams, your struggles, your plans for the future, these are your cocoon. They're the sacred space where you transform, where you grow, where you become the person you are meant to be. Transformation, it's not always pretty. It's not always Instagram worthy. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's painful, and that's exactly why it needs to happen in private. Imagine if that caterpillar tried to go about its daily life while transforming. Imagine if it tried to explain to every passing ant or bee what was happening to it. It would be exhausting, wouldn't it? It would distract from the important work of change. The same is true for you. When you are working on yourself, when you are growing and changing and becoming, you need to focus all your energy on that process. You can't afford to waste time and mental resources explaining yourself to others who might not understand or support your journey. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but isn't that selfish? Shouldn't we share our journey to inspire others? And I understand where you are coming from. We live in a world that values transparency, that encourages us to share our truth at every turn. Have you ever tried to explain a dream to someone who just doesn't get it? Have you ever shared a goal only to be met with skepticism or worse, indifference? How did that make you feel? Did it energize you or did it deflate you? Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your evolution. Not everyone has earned the right to witness your struggles, your doubts, your moments of weakness. And more importantly, not everyone has the capacity to truly support you in those moments. That's why it's crucial to be selective about what you share and with whom you share it. It's not about being secretive or antisocial. It's about creating a safe space for your personal growth, a sanctuary where your dreams can take root and flourish without being trampled by the well-meaning but misguided opinions of others. Think about the great innovators throughout history. Do you think Thomas Edison announced to the world every failed attempt at creating the light bulb? Do you think Steve Jobs shared his doubts and setbacks with everyone he met? Of course not. They worked tirelessly in private, facing their challenges head-on, and only revealed their work to the world when it was ready. That's the power of keeping these 5 things to yourself. It's not about hiding or being dishonest. It's about giving yourself the space and freedom to experiment, to fail, to learn, and to grow without the pressure of external expectations or judgments. How do you actually go about keeping these things private in a world that seems to demand constant sharing? You need to get comfortable with the idea that you don't owe an explanation for your life choices. Your dreams, your finances, your struggles, your plans, your relationships, these are yours and yours alone. You have the right to keep them private. You need to develop what I like to call a mental firewall. This is an internal filter that helps you decide what information to share and what to keep to yourself. Before you speak or post or tweet, ask yourself, does sharing this serve my goals? Does it contribute to my growth? Or am I just seeking validation or attention? You need to find healthy outlets for your thoughts and feelings. Just because you're not sharing everything with the world doesn't mean you should bottle it all up inside. Consider keeping a journal where you can freely express yourself without fear of judgment. Or find a trusted mentor or coach who can provide guidance without compromising your privacy. You need to learn the art of deflection. When people ask probing questions about these 5 areas of your life, have a few go-to responses ready. I'm still figuring that out, or I prefer to keep that private, are perfectly acceptable answers. Remember, you are not being rude by maintaining your boundaries. You are being wise. Perhaps most importantly, you need to focus on actions rather than words. Instead of talking about your dreams, work silently towards them. Instead of discussing your finances, manage them responsibly. Instead of sharing your struggles, overcome them privately. Instead of announcing your next big move, prepare for it diligently. Instead of boasting about your inner circle, nurture those relationships with care and discretion. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but isn't it lonely? Don't we need support and encouragement from others? And you are absolutely right. We are social creatures, and we do need connection and support. But here's the key. It's not about isolating yourself completely. It's about being selective about what you share and with whom you share it. Imagine you are building a house. You wouldn't invite the whole neighborhood over to watch you lay the foundation, would you? You wouldn't ask for their opinion on every nail you hammer or every wall you raise. No, you would work with a small team of trusted professionals, and you would only invite people over once the house was ready. Your life, your dreams, your growth, they're like that house. You are the architect, the builder, the designer. You get to decide who's part of your construction crew and who has to wait for the housewarming party. When you finally do reveal your work to the world, when you finally do achieve that goal or make that big move, the impact is so much greater because people don't see the messy process, the doubts, the setbacks. They just see the result, and that result, it looks like magic to them. That's the power of keeping these 5 things to yourself. It allows you to create your own magic, undistracted by the noise and opinions of the world. Now, this approach isn't about being secretive or mysterious for the sake of it. It's not about creating an artificial aura of success. It's about giving yourself the space and freedom to grow, to experiment, to fail, and to succeed on your own terms. It's about understanding that your journey is unique and that not everyone needs to understand or approve of every step you take. It's about recognizing that the most important conversations you will ever have are the ones you have with yourself. The last time you achieved something significant, maybe you got a promotion or launched a successful project or reached a personal goal. How did it feel in those moments before you told anyone? There was a special kind of joy there, wasn't there? A quiet pride, a sense of personal satisfaction that was just for you. That feeling, my friends, is what we're trying to protect and nurture, because that feeling is the true reward of your hard work. It's the inner knowing that you have done something remarkable, regardless of whether the world recognizes it or not. When you stop seeking constant validation from others, when you stop sharing every detail of your journey, you actually become more attractive to others. People are drawn to those who have an air of quiet confidence, who seem to have a rich inner life that's not on display for all to see. You become like a book that people can't wait to read, rather than a billboard that shouts its message to anyone who listens. You become intriguing, compelling, someone who others want to know more about. But remember, this isn't about playing games or creating a false image. It's about being so focused on your own growth, so committed to your own journey, that you don't have time or energy to constantly update the world on your progress. It's about understanding that true success, true fulfillment, comes from within. It comes from knowing that you are staying true to your values, that you are working towards your goals, that you are becoming the person you want to be, regardless of whether anyone else sees it or not. So, as we wrap up our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 30 days, I want you to practice keeping these 5 things to yourself. Your dreams and goals, your finances, your personal struggles, your next big move, and the details of your inner circle. Instead of sharing, I want you to channel that energy into action. Instead of talking about your dreams, take one small step towards them every day. Instead of discussing your finances, make one wise decision about money each day. Instead of sharing your struggles, spend time each day working to overcome them. Instead of announcing your next big move, spend time preparing for it. And instead of talking about your relationships, invest time and energy in nurturing. At the end of those 30 days, take stock of how you feel. I bet you will find that you have more energy, more focus, more clarity about your path forward, I bet you will find that you are making more progress, feeling more confident, and attracting more positive opportunities into your life. My friends, your life is not a show for others to watch. It's not a performance for the world to judge. It's a deeply personal, incredibly powerful journey of becoming the best version of yourself. And that journey, it deserves to be protected. It deserves to be nurtured in private, away from the prying eyes and opinions of others. Because when you give yourself that space, when you honor your own process, that's when the real magic happens. That's when you start to see changes you never thought possible. That's when you start to achieve things you never dreamed you could. That's when you become the person you were always meant to be. So go forth, my friends. Guard your dreams. Protect your finances. Face your struggles privately. Plan your moves in secret. Cherish your inner circle. Do these things and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, the caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly overnight. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes privacy. But when it finally spreads its wings, the whole world stops to admire its beauty. You are that caterpillar. Your dreams, your struggles, your plans, they're your cocoon. Honor them. Protect them. And when the time is right, when you have done the work in private, spread your wings and show the world the beautiful butterfly you have become. Thank you. And remember, your greatest power lies in what you choose not to share. Use it wisely, use it well, and watch as your life transforms beyond your wildest dreams.